The Princess of Wales meets with Army Captain Preet Chandi in Derby. Queen Mathilde of the Belgians concludes her visit to Bangladesh. And the Danish Royal Court announces that Queen Margrethe II of Denmark will have extensive back surgery later this month. All this and much more coming up next on your Royal Daily News. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Alexandra, and this is your Royal Daily News for February 8th, 2023. In Copenhagen, Miss Lene Balleby, head of communications for the Danish Royal Court, announced this morning that Her Majesty Queen Margrethe II of Denmark will have extensive back surgery on Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023, at the Rigshospitalet. Her Majesty the Queen will remain in the hospital for several days after her surgery for observation. Naturally, there will be months of rehabilitation after her surgery as well. If you've been a long-time royal watcher, such as myself, then you know that Her Majesty the Queen has had back problems as well as knee problems for many years now. Unfortunately, as Miss Balleby noted in this morning's press release, Her Majesty the Queen's situation has, quote, worsened, end quote. Ms. Balleby also noted in the press release that a number of Her Majesty the Queen's scheduled official engagements will be, quote, postponed, cancelled, or handled by other members of the royal family, end quote. In Aalborg, His Royal Highness Prince Joachim of Denmark officially opened the National Defense Technology Center at Aalborg University. The NDTC is a joint initiative of all 8 universities in Denmark, as well as 5 government-approved research and development organizations, GTS institutes, namely Force Technology, the Alexandra Institute, the Danish Technological Institute, the Danish National Meteorology Institute, and the Danish Institute of Fire and Security Technology. According to a press release, the aim of the NDTC is that, quote, the universities and the GTS institutes can contribute to a critical technological boost of Danish armed forces and the Danish defense industry through interdisciplinary partnerships that combine technological innovation with civil, military, political, and economic considerations to make Denmark a significant international knowledge player in defense and security technology, end quote. During today's opening, Prince Joachim cut the ribbon, gave a speech, and was given a tour of the new center. In connection with today's opening at Aalborg University, Prince Joachim, in his capacity as a defense attaché at the Danish Embassy in Paris, France, also attended the Danish Defense Annual Conference. In Stord, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Haakon of Norway visited Aker Solutions to learn more about the company's, quote, work with sustainability, how it is adapting to the green transition, and conversion to new markets, end quote. In Tokyo, His Imperial Majesty Emperor Naruhito of Japan held an audience with the President of the Norwegian Parliament, Mr. Masud Gharahkhani, at the Imperial Palace. During their meeting, the Emperor and the President discussed a number of important issues, including the environment, Norway's green transition, renewable energy, sustainability, and much more. In London, His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom held an audience this afternoon with the President of Ukraine, Mr. Volodymyr Zelensky, at Buckingham Palace. This was the first visit for President Zelensky to the United Kingdom since Russia invaded Ukraine. In Derby, Her Royal Highness the Princess of Wales arrived at the Landau Fort College to meet with Captain Preet Chandi, MBE, to celebrate her recent return from her solo expedition across Antarctica. Captain Chandi successfully completed 922 miles in 70 days and 16 hours, the furthest unsupported solar polar expedition in history. According to Buckingham Palace, quote, Captain Chandi undertook the challenge to inspire future generations to believe in themselves, to push their boundaries, and to show how the outdoors can build the life skills to help them achieve their dreams. During today's visit to the school, Captain Chandi made a speech to students about her expedition, with the princess joining her in presenting an award to Miss Simrat Sagi, one of the winners of Preet's National School Logo Competition. Her Royal Highness then joined students as they took part in some activities, which brought to light the expedition and how Captain Preet prepared for it, including some examples of how she trained and the types of food she consumed." End quote. Meanwhile, Her Majesty Queen Mathilde of the Belgians, in her capacity as the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals advocate, concluded her 3-day official visit to Bangladesh. Prior to returning home, Her Majesty the Queen visited the Khulna district in southwest Bangladesh to learn more about the, quote, impact climate change has had on the country and the many natural disasters the country faces. Bangladesh is the 7th most vulnerable country in the world affected by climate change. Rising sea levels and constant erosion threatens half of the country. End quote. The day began at Logic Water Treatment Plant, which provides residents in the area with safe drinking water. In the afternoon, Her Majesty the Queen returned to Dhaka, where she held a meeting with the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikha Hasina Wazed. Thereafter, Her Majesty the Queen met with the President of Bangladesh, Mr. Abdul Hamid, at the Presidential Palace. In Brussels, His Majesty King Philippe of the Belgians received letters of credence from newly appointed ambassadors to Belgium at the Palais Royal. The newly appointed ambassadors are from the Kingdom of Spain, the Sultanate of Oman, the Republic of Gambia, and Belize. And finally, in Luanda, Their Majesties King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia of Spain continued their state visit to Angola. The day began with His Majesty the King and the President of Angola, Mr. João Lorenzo, presiding over the opening of the Angola-Spain business meeting entitled Together Building the Future, the Construction of Development, a Joint Public and Private Effort. The push for business relations with Angola comes down to one thing: oil. Angola is the second largest oil producer supplier in Africa after Nigeria. Meanwhile, across town, Her Majesty the Queen, accompanied by the First Lady of Angola, visited the Lucretia Payne Maternity Ward. The purpose of the visit was to attend the presentation of the new campaign entitled Born Free to Shine. Her Majesty the Queen was also given a tour of the maternity ward as well as the HIV screening and triage rooms. In the mid-morning, Their Majesties visited the Angolan National Assembly, where they held a meeting with the President of the Chamber, Ms. Carolina Sequeira. After a moment of silence in memory of those who died in the Angolan Revolution, His Majesty the King took to the floor and gave a speech, stating, quote, "Today, Angola is a land of opportunities. After the period of economic crisis aggravated by COVID-19 pandemic, Spain positively values the reforms that Angola is carrying out to promote its economic development, diversify its economy, and encourage business presence. Let me point out that Spain, both from the public and private sectors, is prepared to contribute to the economic growth of the country, a productive growth that generates jobs for the Angolan youth. We have very competitive companies in sectors that we are interested in promoting, such as agro-industry, infrastructure and sanitation, renewable energy, engineering, and tourism." End quote. At noon, Their Majesties arrived at the Presidential Palace to bid farewell to the President and First Lady of Angola, as well as to thank them for their warm hospitality. Then Their Majesties arrived at the airport, boarded the plane, and returned home to Spain. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow on Thursday, February 9th with all the latest world news. Until then, I wish you all a wonderful evening and a great day tomorrow. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, take care, everyone. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.